Hi, and welcome to the Cruz Pod. I'm Crystal,
Hello.
and we have our best friend, Christian De La Cruz, here with us to share his story, his testimony.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me again.
Sure.
Love being here. It's great.
So this one's been at the forefront of my mind since I ever thought about doing the podcast, way back before we thought it was going to be a Christ podcast. We've been talking about a podcast for a couple of years, but this is a really important one to me, and a really special opportunity to share your testimony. Christian is one of my favorite people on this entire planet, and the fact that he'll share his testimony is really, really special to me. His story, you won't quite understand how crazy and amazing it really is, until you hear it firsthand. And so he has a story that is incredible, and I'm really honored to actually be a part of this and be able to share this in any capacity or whatever we have in this. So
Love it.
That's fine.
So this is a testimony episode, so I'm going to lead us off in prayer.
Beautiful.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with humble hearts, acknowledging that this time and this platform belong to you. We invite the Holy Spirit to move through this conversation, to sharpen our minds, soften our hearts, and speak the truths that we need to hear. Lord, we ask you that you strip away all pride, selfish ambition from this room. Let the testimony of life, death, and sacrifice serve as a light for those walking through their own darkness. May the words spoken today honor you, challenge us to carry our crosses with greater humility, and remind us that our lives are ultimately for your glory and the service of others. Guide our tongues, open our ears, and let your will be done. Amen.
Amen. Love that.
All right, let's hop into it.
Was it?
Thanks.
That was a great, beautiful start. I love it. I love it.
Prayer. Let's let this lion roll, Christian.
It's not me crying already.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so give us a landscape of your childhood. Take us up to the end of high school.
Cool. Yeah, my childhood was great by all means. We didn't really have much growing up as far as in the time when it was me and just one of my sisters at the time. We were down in Basalt. My parents immigrated from Mexico, half Christian, and moved to Colorado. So we ended up in Basalt.
So where were you born?
I was born in California.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess I assumed you were born here.
No, my parents crossed the border, met.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was born in California.
Communism.
We were definitely not in the greatest of space. And actually, the reason why we ended in Colorado was because we were living in some sketchy neighborhood. My dad had been working for so long or whatever, working very hard to save for a car. And it was my uncle, my aunt, my parents, myself, and my cousin at the time. And he bought this car so that they could all go to work. Like, it was this whole deal. And I love listening to the story. I've only heard it a few times because he doesn't really share it. We don't speak too much anymore. But he said he woke up the next day after getting the car to go to work, and the car was jacked up on blocks, and the tires were stolen. And he said that very fucking day, he said, "Screw this place. We're moving. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this. I can't raise a child here. Like, this is horrible." So we had family out here, friends, whatever. So we came out to Colorado. Ended up in Basalt, at the trailer park next to the gas station. That's still there, ironically. But yeah, we didn't have much. My parents definitely worked very hard to get me to where I was at the time. From there, my dad found a good job up in Aspen, up in a barn. He worked on a horse barn, and for this horse lady, she loved her horses, and that's where I grew up most of my life. There
In the barn?
Yep, living in the barn. And I can tell you, I have a vivid memory of showing up for the first time. We had a van, kind of like yours. We rolled up with the van. All we had was the mattress and the clothes and all that stuff. And we rolled in, and the mattress was on the floor, and all we had was a kitchen and one room, and it was cool. I remember being excited. Like those times were, yeah, they were hard. We didn't have much going on, but it was exciting when you don't have much going on. My parents always found the good of the bad situations we were in. So it was pretty sweet. But I mean, you fast forward, um, middle school, I started playing sports. I'm starting to get older. My dad's really working on making sure that I become someone. Let's put it that way. He was he was on me. He was pretty difficult, just like any other difficult father was who wants good for his kids. I mean, now that I'm older, I can totally see where he was coming from. But yeah, he like whether I wanted to play soccer or whether I wanted a PlayStation or an Xbox, he definitely instilled the work ethic into me. So he would give me chores around the barn. So I had a mug stalls. I was picking up poop since I could fucking walk. So, and if I wanted something, he made me work for it and he would pay me. And it was great. Um, Fast forward, to high school. And high school, I have two little sisters now. And at this point, um, all I know is love my mom, take care of my sisters, work hard for everything you want, and don't expect anyone to say you're doing a great job. So these are all just major things that really stick out through my childhood that actually just form who I am today. So we're in middle school. I'm working. I mean, I'm not working. Well, yeah, I'm working, but I'm playing soccer, and that's basically most of my childhood there. I met all my friends. Soccer was huge. We played in tournaments, won tournaments, victories, losses. Like it was all great. Um, get to high school, and that's when things start shifting quite a bit. So we get to some of my paradigm shifts. Really, I'll probably just share two of the biggest ones, which I know is what we're most curious about. But
Well, yeah. Before we get into that, how was your relationship with your father?
oh, before high school,
Yeah, I mean, up
before
to
high
this
school,
point.
it was great, man. My father by no means was a horrible dad. You know what I mean? He disciplined me, which now, again, that I'm older, I was a terrible, well, I wouldn't say terrible, but I was a terror of a child.
Rascal. We call that
Yeah,
rascal.
you could not control me. And I mean, I was first generation in the States, you know, it's a cultural difference. You go to Mexico, you got kids running around the street, shirtless, shoeless, like everyone's just happy, having a good time, mischief, whatnot. Like it's different out here, you know? So but my relationship with my father growing up was great. He just wanted the best for me. So even though he was really hard on me, he always wanted me to excel in whatever I wanted to do. Whether that, so if I was playing soccer, I'd finish practice and he would practice with me in the field, or he'd have me kick the soccer ball against the garage door until I can go upstairs and eat. You know, so my relationship with him was actually great. I remember writing papers and being like, "Who's your hero?" And it was always my father. Like there was no question about it.
Yeah.
So I'll never take away what he did for me growing up.
Mhm.
Um, he's just a man.
And it ended up tested at some point.
Completely. We got to high school, and my sisters were a little bit younger at that time. I'm in my mid-teens, probably 15, 16, 17. And at this point, that time period in my life is very blurred, just because of everything that went down. But what ended up happening is my mother ended up getting very sick. She ended up getting ovarian cancer. Um, and she was very young at the time. She's my age that I am now. She's 30, 32. She's somewhere in that realm. And yeah, she ends up getting really sick. So she breaks it to us, and obviously we just all handle it the way that we were meant to handle it. I was a teenage kid who's at the time, although I have these good qualities, I was rather fragile. So
You were
I,
a kid.
I was just a kid, and I ended up becoming an angry kid. So I turned into an angry child, an emotional child, and I was just basically felt alone. like a lonely child and I was just by myself. So, and I'm sure, I mean, now again, my dad at the time did not do well either. So, I mean, these are
He didn't.
situations where you can't help someone you love, right? As you know very well, there's like nothing you can do. If I could have taken her pain and walked with it myself, I would have, but I couldn't. So, and I'm sure my father felt the same exact way. Um, so that just led to a downward spiral in essence. He was very distant at that time. He was very angry at that time. Um, I was no help whatsoever. I stopped doing my duties, which included working, which included taking care of my sisters, which included taking care of my mother. I just fully shut out completely. And so did he. And that's when our relationship actually started falling apart because he really needed to do his part. And I think he let his ego and everything get in the way and ultimately stopped him from doing what he needed to do. So from there, yeah, I just tried to help my mom as much as possible and myself. My main priority was taking care of myself to make sure that my parents didn't have to do it. So if that meant pulling myself out of the equation, which is basically what I did, like, oh, you don't have to worry about me. I'll just go out and about and handle my whole life every day and do my shenanigans that I was doing.
You were in high school when your mom got sick?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys can just focus on the girls and just take care of yourselves and I'll just do my own thing. So, I mean, I started adopting a bunch of selfish qualities that don't necessarily help anyone in these situations. So I still apologize to my mother to this day. But I was definitely not helpful at all. Um,
Do you think that that was in part because you didn't have your dad leading by example?
yeah, definitely. And even as a boy or a man, like there's a certain part, like you grow up or these things hit you. And I think instinctually you start thinking about how you can do something. And my version of that was just take care of myself, and not taking care of what I needed to do. So, um, it was very selfish. It didn't help it, but yeah, I don't think he was leading by example either. He was very, very broken, during that time. Like I said, like, and I can't even imagine how he felt. You know, you meet your wife, cross your board, you have a baby, you do all this hard shit, and then all of a sudden you're like on the verge of losing her, which is exactly how I felt. I was like, damn, I'm about to lose my mom, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, that started reshaping me very heavy. And it went south at that point, really, really bad.
Like your life or your connection with your father?
My connection with my father and my life. So he ended up finding what he needed emotionally somewhere else. Um, and when he informed me that he had started another family accidentally or whatever, it broke. So that was the day that I just fucking called it quits. And actually, that was probably the last day I talked to him for like 5 to 6 years afterwards. I told him to pull over and actually got out of the car and ended up walking home from there. Like I just didn't want anything to do with him. So it's just a little different when you have someone that you look up to like that and he is your leader and then he does the complete opposite of what he has been training you, teaching you to do, you know? So at that point, that's kind of where our relationship just went downhill. So I called it quits at that point and didn't speak to him for years. We were still in the same household. We were still surrounded by each other. I had nowhere to go. I was as a teenager, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I would hang out with my friends, maybe sleep over or like not come back or something, or go party, get messed up, and just yeah, it wasn't a good thing. So yeah, that's kind of where our relationship went downhill, and that's kind of when I started really taking care of myself, and my sisters and my mother, because at that point, um there was a certain point where I mean, you fast forward a little bit, but he did end up walking out as well. So when he walked out And at this point, I'm living in Glenwood. I moved out. I'm living in Glenwood. My mom had gotten a place in Glenwood many years ago, just in case if anything went south. So I ended up going there. There's a falling out there. Long story short, I had to end up moving to this home. It worked out well because I couldn't be at the ranch anymore, and we needed someone to watch the house. So I ended in turn took responsibility of the home. And during that time period is when my father ended up walking out on my mom and my sisters. And there's a vivid memory of getting a knock on the door. Again, I'm on the floor, mattress on the floor in the living room because I'm by myself. I've been taking care of this place for a couple months at this point, and my mom shows up with the girls, and she didn't really have to say anything at that point. I knew what was going on, so it was just like, "Come in." She came in, and from there, that's kind of when we started spending our time together.
Is she still sick at this point?
She's still sick at this point. She's I'd like to say she's probably on the towards the other side of the hill at this point. There's a lot in the middle of her trying to save her marriage, and all that good stuff, and treatments, and a lot of hospital visits. She ended up in Denver for a few months, and those were the real dark times when you see someone get sick, accept it, become hopeful, and then lose all hope, period,
Mm.
in every aspect. And then, and you just can't even physically be there for him either. So at that, like, there was a time period where she was very much alone. Um, but then after that, she's on the other side and she came back trying to resolve everything. We're good. But she ended up in my house, back at the house. And from there, that's kind of where my role as a big brother and a son just multiplied by 20.
Well, now you're the head of the family.
Yes. So now I have to take care of everyone. So she came back and she couldn't work still. She could just start walking though. That was great. Like she was going on walks and stuff, so that was good. But I was basically so took the responsibility and I took it head on, and it was a huge switch in my life. At this point, I'm still deep in things that I shouldn't be deep in. And struggling with my own personal battles and my own demons. But having my family back in the picture helped a lot. So at this point, I'm taking the girls to school.
Was this before or after? Because you went to like a semester in college?
Yeah.
And
That was
then,
just a blur. That was a blimp. I went to college for a semester and then I came back home. And no matter how much I told myself that I wanted college or like I wanted to do something great, because as an immigrant child or like as a child of immigrants, you have this thought that you are going to do the complete opposite and succeed in a different way. And that is why your parents end up making those sacrifices.
Yeah, for that
you know what I mean?
opportunity.
And I fought with that idea and struggled for since the day since college even became a thought in high school. I remember I had a girlfriend at the time, and her mother straight up told me that I wasn't allowed to date her unless I was going to go to college. So I was like, okay. But in my head, I had already had this pressure of like, fuck, I need to go to college. My parents really want me to do this. But honestly, college isn't for me. It's just not a thing. It wasn't. And just my mom being sick was a big enough reason for me to even just say bye to that, whatever that future could have been.
Do you think looking back that there might have been a hand of God in the fact that at one point you have a family, you've got your father who's acting like a father at the time, and then yourself, almost like a live free, happy child. Your mum gets sick. You both tested as men.
Mhm.
Your dad fails.
I failed.
You fail, you bounce out.
Yep.
But then she comes back to your house. You get a second chance at this.
Oh, fully. I mean, I think honestly, God was there the whole entire time. And maybe the only reason why I felt lonely is because I was cursing his name.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And when I had that whole lonely episode and I was by myself and all that good stuff, that was exactly what I was doing. I was like, okay, my father left me. God, how could you possibly be doing this to me? like, screw everyone. I'll just take care of myself completely. Like, I don't need anyone else. It is my way. And that did not work out too well. Also during that time, I mean, I forgot to mention, which I know we're just digging deep, but it's important for you guys to know all these things. I don't like to really share in general. But around you too, obviously I'm comfortable. But I mean, during that time,
in the world.
yeah, it's a world now. So, because we're trying to make a difference here, we're trying to expose ourselves and let people know that you're not alone. But during that time, my father and I were definitely tested even more. When my mom got sick, very shortly after, we lost my grandmother, which was also
His mother?
his mother. So, which was also my second mom, basically. So I spent a lot of time with her when I was younger, and a lot of my memories are actually with her. So, um, we lost her, and then a few months later, we lost my cousin as well, who I grew up with. Um, so just between those probably 6 to 8 months was just brutal. So again, now thinking about it, I can clearly understand why my father broke as a man. And why I broke as well. So yeah, I mean, sorry, give me a second. So yeah. Anyways, we were bound to fail, and I was cursing his name, and it didn't really help the situation whatsoever. So that's why I took my life in my own hands and said I was going to just do it myself from there on. And I'm sure he did the same, and it didn't really work out. So,
And now he has the additional burden of another family.
yes, which I love my little brother. My little step bro, my half brother, he is really cool. I love him. It's not his fault. He's in a situation that he's in. He's at home and he lives with us now, and it is great. He also had his troubles, and his mother was not the greatest person either.
It's a lot of loss in one
It
really short
is.
period for a kid, especially.
Totally. So, but it helped. It helped a lot, and I do believe that. And I know we've talked about it in the past, but God puts you through things that He knows that you're going to make it. He doesn't give you a challenge that He knows you're not going to. So, and I mean, and now I'm glad I didn't give up. But I mean, during the time, it was very, very difficult. Especially because I wasn't even like 19 or like 20 at this point. So, but yeah. But once I got reintroduced to my mother and she came back into my life and everything there, that was like my second chance of making sure that I can do right.
Yeah.
So I ended up working back into those qualities that my dad instilled in me prior, which was always take care of your mother and watch over your sisters. It was like number one. So from there on, it definitely helped. It definitely helped.
Do you think that your mother taught you anything about life while she was fighting for hers?
Oh, not while. Not while. At first she started off strong for sure. Just like any human, when you face adversity, you want to face it positively and hard. But I mean, during it, dude, it was bad. She was not hopeful and she was not okay. So, there was no positive outlook. It was just a full south thing. Now, afterwards, oh yeah, by all means. My mother's one of the strongest women I possibly could ever know on this planet, if not the number one. Bitch. She's the only one that strikes fear into my heart. So, she's something else. Once she got better and everything, we obviously went through our little episodes, but she works just as hard as I could ever imagine. That's one person that I will never outwork in my life. Once she was cured or in remission and everything, and she could start walking, she started eating, which when you have cancer, you don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So she started eating and she started gaining weight, and life just came back into her. And she just got after it ever since then. Fast forward, and now she's nannied kids, watched them growing up. She's there's time period where I left the house and she wasn't basically leading the household. She's taking care of my sisters. She's done all of it. So yeah, I mean, she's taught me more in my later life than I picked up from my father. So they basically did a full swap at that point.
Mm.
So yeah.
And how's her walk with Jesus during all this?
Oh, the after effect was great, man. We went back to the old days where she was taking us to church forcefully. It was no option. It was like, and she worked every angle she possibly could. It was like, it's Sunday, let's go to church. Mom, I'm tired. It'd really make me happy if you go to church. All right, fine, let's go to church. So it was just like the old days. She went back to church. She started reading her Bible again. She started helping out. She now teaches kids at church too. Her walk with God is beautiful, honestly.
What about in the eye of the storm?
In the eye of the storm, I honestly I couldn't really speak for her much because unfortunately I wasn't the person I needed to be. Especially when she was alone in Denver, which was probably the biggest part of that entire storm. Was when she needed to be down there, but we obviously had to work. My father had to work.
And your
At that point.
sisters.
Yep, and the school and everything, and so she was very much alone.
And you're basically taking the girls to school.
At that point, I was still not the person I needed to be. I was taking care of myself. So she, for the most part, she was probably wondering where I was. You know what I mean? And since my father and I weren't really talking, there wasn't much she could do. She cut my cell phone a few times because I wouldn't answer the phone. So that's how she got a hold of me. But yeah, I couldn't really speak on that, on how it was. I just know for her, it was a very dark time because to see how happy she was when she left the hospital and she came back home, and in turn, I came back home, and actually got to see her and be with her. She was so happy, to be back in her own spot. So I'm sure that she was communicating in that aspect, no matter how bleak that relationship may have been.
Yeah, you don't think she lost hope?
I don't think she did. There's no way. I just don't see it. I mean, like, especially where she is now, like everything she survived and actually coming out of it, like when we thought we were actually going to lose her, like, to me to think otherwise makes no sense.
Mhm.
Like, absolutely zero sense.
You think that experience made you a better son?
Yeah, definitely. I can't even picture my life being any other way, honestly. Just my childhood to how I am now. Like, even if God said, "Oh, there was this other plan for you," I might call him a liar. You know, I'd be like, "Are you sure?" Because that felt very intentional. So, no, I think my childhood definitely, although it did a number on me, and it took a lot to pull myself out of this hole. I think I am the best version that I could possibly be at the moment. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And without skipping too far, well, without jumping to the end deliberately, but for what we see and the way you stand up as an uncle, how much of this experience you think shaped
Shit,
how much you value being the man of the house to your nephews and nieces?
it shapes everything. I mean, from running away from my responsibilities to actually taking care of business, and seeing the differences between the two is massive. I have a niece and a nephew now. And for all of my friends who just heard that for the first time, they're 7 and 5. But yeah, they're sweet. They are. And anything I do and everything I do at the house, I do it well knowing that I'm being watched. So, and I think that my mother lived that same exact way. Obviously after remission. So I think we all try to do that to the best of our abilities. But yes, everything I do at home, I try not to break. So it very much shaped me. So I fully intend not to break. And again, I'm just a man. And we break. I'm not made out of steel.
I mean, I'm in awe of the way you show up
Yeah.
for your family. It's amazing.
But
Yeah, it's
I do
something
not.
else.
Yeah, I try to do everything for them from a spot of love for sure. I do have different ways of disciplining, like taking iPads and stuff. So that I'm definitely learn how to approach things differently. But yeah, everything I do, I definitely do it as if someone's watching me.
So it is.
Yeah, completely. They are every day. So
Um, so let's jump ahead.
from the past.
No, it's still in the past, but I don't know if anything of great significance that's paradigm shifting happens in between. But let's talk about bull riding.
So bull riding was an interesting thing. You can ask, I mean, when you guys meet my close friends and everything, because I'm sure they'll cross paths eventually. It took everyone by surprise.
So you started bull riding?
Yes, growing up on a horse barn though, it wasn't really too surprising for myself. There was a horseshoer there, and he was a bull rider at the time too. And I remember like just talking to him. I was very curious, obviously, as a kid. I was probably that annoying kid that wouldn't shut up because I would ask him questions and he would tell me everything, and I'd sit there and just
Junkyard kid.
yeah,
You were the
so,
junkyard kid.
I remember him telling me about bull riding and all this stuff, and at that point, that's kind of where that idea came in. You flash forward, I'm around 20, 21. At this point, things are starting to go well, I guess you could say. This is where my mom's in remission and stuff, and she can walk and all this good stuff. And I can actually get some breathing room. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, like I can actually do something. Like my mom doesn't need me to come home, or my sisters don't need me for something. Like, and I just said, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to do this. I'm going to bull ride. I just decided to do it. So, without help from no one, I just signed up to the snowmass. I went to the rodeo, figured out how to signed up for the following week because you can't sign up at that time. So signed up for the following week. And then the next day, the next week, I went and I just got completely hooked.
But where did you get the outfit in the meantime in that week?
Oh, no outfit.
Just in your
I showed
jeans.
up and one of the guys, it was my buddy Connor, I remember. Because there's this weird thing. I don't know anything new that you do, and you guys probably seen it in CrossFit. I haven't seen it because I've found a good CrossFit community that I found friends out of it. But like people show up and not everyone's the first one to want to say hi.
Yeah.
And not everyone's the first one to like try to give you advice when you're struggling. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the scenario I walked into. I just showed up.
Being in regular clothes.
Regular clothes, had no idea, didn't know one single person. I just went and signed up, and when it was almost my turn, they're like, "Who's Trish?" I was like, "That's me." He's like, "Where's your stuff?" I don't have stuff. Like, someone really let me use their stuff, and everyone was so hesitant to let me use their rope. I mean, now I know why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But well, my buddy Connor at the time, he let me use his rope, and which I mean, I could have just jumped off without her. I could have jumped on without a rope and fallen off just as fast. It was so fast. It was so quick, but just as fast as I fell off, I just fell in love with the sport completely. So ever since then, I just kept going every week, and at this point, no one knows my name, right? Like, hey, what's up? That's it. Nothing. I used his rope one more time, but by then I had ordered one, so I got a rope. I'm starting to actually get gear, and I'm able to like start doing my own thing. Fast forward a bit, I went and like did some what do you call them? They're not classes, they call them something, but I went to this whole ordeal where
Like seminars?
like kind of like a seminar, but like I went out to one out by Denver where this guy teaches you, and he just did like a whole school for a bunch of guys. So I did that, and I did another one. And I just really got into it.
Where is your personal life at this point? Are you drinking?
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, I'm kind of turning my life around. Um, because I'm filling my time out with either work or riding,
Mm.
right? Before it was like either work, home, go to Denver, Boulder, see my friends, get twisted for the weekend, come back, get twisted during the week, like during work or whatever. Um, but at this point, I'm kind of exposing myself to a new life, which is great. And anyone who like is even interested in the rodeo world, you should definitely send it. It's a great community. It's just like CrossFit, you know. And that's kind of where God started coming back into my life, because the whole ordeal is, um, you sing the national anthem,
Hmm.
you pray, like everyone prays.
Because I love that about
And
the
if you
rodeo.
don't pray, it doesn't matter because the guy is praying anyways. So you pray, you have a good night and all that good stuff. You have a great time. And then next thing you know, the night's over and like you're just waiting for next week. Kind of like how we feel about church now. Um, so I mean, it was great. So all of this is happening, and a few years go by, and I'm still drinking. I'm still having a good time, but it's nowhere like a self-destruction. It wasn't a self-destruction like it was before. Before it was just dangerous. I was not a good headspace, and I was just numbing my soul and my spirit and everything.
And so the rodeo wasn't a self-destructive
No.
decision. It actually came from a healthier.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was just still drinking. I still have vices, but the rodeo came from a good side, not necessarily a bad side. And I was making friends, and yeah, life was getting good. I was getting banged up though. Like I was showing up to work in crutches.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I was getting so messed up. It was pretty funny.
And you had the outfit at that point.
Yeah, I had the whole thing, the chaps. I still have them. I still have them for all of you that are curious. I still got all my gear. But yeah, I mean, we'll scoot up a few years to the major paradigm shift that I have next.
So 2019.
Yeah,
Take us through that night, that Carbondale rodeo.
So I I was all jacked up for this week in particular, just because it's just like anything in life that you try hard. There's a certain point where things start shifting and you start making progress. And for the last like few months at that point, I was actually making progress. So this season was actually one of my favorite seasons, because there was progress being made, and like it's so much different when you're just like not just showing up and falling off, and you're showing up and actually riding.
Reading
So,
like 3 or 4 seconds.
yes, and I've been working my
Yeah.
ass off for years, for the few years before, and yes, and before then I even started praying like on my way to work, on just like rodeo days, like just making sure I do my whole spiel in the car, and I get to the rodeo and everything's going well. I'm drinking with the boys in the back. We because you're just notorious for drinking couple before. I got my dip in my mouth. Everything's going well. I ended up drawing a bull that at the time was one of the favorites. He wasn't the biggest by all means, but he was definitely one that was just fun. He would just come out and start bucking, and it was like, because overall you just want a good experience, and he just comes up and starts bugging. And sometimes those bigger boys don't do as much, or they're just too strong, or the little guys just don't do anything. But I was really, really pumped. And my buddy Jose, he was a bullfighter, and I was in the chutes, and he was all jacked up for me. I had my routine. He would pull my rope for me and everything, and it was just great. And I remember sliding up on my rope and calling for the chute to open, and it opens. I come out, and at first it was kind of sketchy, but I ended up staying on, and then it just clicked. And like it clicks when you start riding. Like there's a certain point where if you just hold on, it just clicks, and I'm clicking. And the greatest part is I'm making my rounds, and then all of a sudden the crowd just starts going wild, like just crazy, because I'm riding, and everyone, like when anyone rides, as you guys know,
Yeah.
I've been there, it's super fucking exciting. And then that's it. That's all I remember. Like that's all I remember was just the cheer of the crowd. And then next thing I know, I come to, and I'm in a hospital bed, and I got my niece, who is not even a year old, my sister next to me, and my mom next to me, and then my father at like the entrance of the room. And I was just like, looked at my sister, and I was like, "What's going on?" And she gave me this look, like you could tell she was clearly just over it. She was so pissed that I asked what was going on because I had asked that question like 30 times.
You don't remember.
But I don't remember. All I remember, like she's like, you asked me that question so many times. She's like, "Oh, you're okay. You just got in a motorcycle accident. Like everything's fine." I was like, where's my vest? Where are my chaps?
My outfit.
Yeah, where's my outfit?
Yeah.
Because any bull rider, you ask him, like when they're concussed, a lot of them wake up and they're like, "Where's my gear?" Because they'll cut it open, and like it's not like they have money to like. So gear's expensive. So I was like, "Where's all my stuff? Where's all my stuff?" And again, she was so mad that I was asking where all my stuff is. But I ended up, I don't know how to explain it, but like this was waking up to my sister and my mother. Although I was like not of right mind, it was probably the biggest shift of my life because again, I was reminded that my selfish actions have effect on other people. You know what I mean? So not only was I happy to see them and maybe my sister was mad, but they were very well concerned about my well-being. Like you can tell that they had not stopped crying for hours. My mom probably hadn't blinked in who knows how long. And my sister's just trying to fucking hold it together. I'm just like, and that's really what hurt the most. But what ended up happening is, um, after the crowd cheered, I ended up falling right before the buzzard, when what we call the well, like when it spins. If you fall on the inside, it's called the well. So I fell in the well, and the bull came down and stomped right on my dome, right behind my neck, crashed through my helmet, and stopped my heart.
That's an easy hole. Oh, that hurts. And it was all good up there. All right, pull out, Wyatt.
All right, folks, here's the deal. We've been through this drill. Y'all stay with me on this one. Y'all believe in the power of prayer like I do. Now's the time to put a little bit out there. Just don't take your hats off if you want to. Y'all can bow your head. We can do this. Whatever you believe, whatever your faith, whether you come from, that man right there could use a little bit of healing. Y'all saw him take a shot. We bull riders, these cowboys out here, they know exactly what this entails. They know the risks every time they saddle up.
Wyatt better drop out.
Doesn't mean we ever want to see it. Doesn't mean we ever need to see it. Doesn't mean we like it. You bear with me. You send your thoughts his way.
They're pumping on his chest. All right, he doesn't need to be doing that. Oh my God.
So I still have the video to this day. I have the actual video, but I have the trimmed version video because the actual video messes with my head real bad. But in the actual video, I go cold. I don't move, and the paramedics instantly ran out. Like the bull's not even in the back; it's still in the arena. My buddies like they're watching me, and the paramedics are coming out. And in that meantime, the bull ends up getting run in the back, and they made him spread apart. And she turned me over, and I was unresponsive. And she instantly started pumping on me. And then, well, you saw her unzip my vest, so you can see her pumping on me. But what really messes with my dome is the force that she was using.
Yeah.
Like it's not a light thing. It's not
No,
like
it's
someone
correct.
comes
It's
up.
correct, Rich.
Yeah, it's not like they come up to you, they're like, "Oh, come back." Like, no, like she was ripping into my chest, and these people on the video are very concerned. And it happened for a while, and then eventually I did come back. So I came back, but essentially I died in the arena that day for a while, and completely unconscious. So what really twisted me wasn't the accident that really twisted me, it's the after effect that really got me really messed up. And I don't know if it was the concussion in general and just the after effects, but I fell into a serious hole of depression for a while after that. It was not only was it just the fact that I put my mother through another instance that she probably didn't deserve. That she very well didn't deserve. But that's when you really start thinking about your purpose in this life and what you're like meant to do, or if you're even meant to do anything, or what you've done, or anything you've done from birth till then. And you realize that you don't really do anything at all. And this isn't just for me. This is just in general for human beings in society in the world. Like, you're bored, you grow up, you have a great childhood, which tends to be most of people's like best years of their lives. And then they work and create a family, but sometimes for the most part, they just work and then you just die. So for a couple months after that, I mean, for all of you that are wondering, I did get back on many times. Like I thought that was my problem. I
I
thought,
thought getting back on the bull.
yeah,
was
I
solving
thought getting
problems.
back on the bull was the problem that I was fighting in my head. But it was not the problem I was fighting in my head. I was fighting a much deeper issue than simply riding. At this point, I'm realizing that bull riding just isn't like, it's not fulfilling me the way I thought that it was in the moment, right? Like I thought it was great, and it was. By all means, I have very great friendships from it. But what really crushed me afterwards was just death and dying without anything to show for it. You know, because at that point, it's like, what's my niece going to say? Oh, I had a badass uncle who rode bulls and then just ended up dying.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Or my sister's like, yeah, my brother watch out for us in a time of need. And like, but that's all. Like, that's it. Like, that's all I got. And that's all I can think of it for a long time.
Which is still a beautiful thing.
It is for sure. But I mean, as a man, it's like, I have no family, right? Of my own.
Mhm.
Like, I have no family. I have no relationship. I have a career, so what? Like, I do have a good job at this point, but it's like, have I really done anything? And that's what really messes with me. My friends would ask me, "How are you? How do you feel?" And I would tell them, like, dude, I feel reborn. Like, I feel reborn to the point where I'm like questioning how I'm gonna move from this moment onwards.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's a lot of thought, like in what I just said, because it's not like I just thought about it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like
This is what.
this is months of just me questioning my existence and being like, what am I going to do? You know? So at that point, my main focus was just my family again. Like, I'm just going to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And that's when I started reintroducing God. And that's when I started taking care of myself spiritually and physically more than anything. There was a time period where I thought I was going to ride again, so I was going to the gym more often. I was like, I made the commitment that I was going to continue bull riding, but I wasn't going to half-ass it anymore. I was going to start going to the gym every day, working out, and that's when CrossFit started coming into my head as well. I was like, if this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it seriously, just like anything else in life.
But there was a period of depression in the middle.
Yeah, fully.
How dark did that get?
That got really dark. It gets really, your headspace can be the darkest thing possible. Like, you think you've gone through some serious shit, and then you get in your own headspace and you start thinking about things that you should not be thinking about, right? There was definitely a moment in time where I was just ready to like just call it quits, and I was just very okay with that thought. And that's a scary fucking place to be. And you should never get to that spot, because this world is just way too beautiful. And like, life itself is just so insane. The fact that you even exist is crazy. So, and the fact that we can even feel these emotions is nuts. So it got very difficult for a while. And I think a lot of it was also me like, damn, I'm gonna have to stop bull riding now too, because at that point I was in another relationship, so I had to sacrifice some other things. But yeah, fitness itself, I can tell you that is a huge reason, and one of the things that saved my life for sure. If it wasn't for going to the gym every day and getting motivated to ride again, I honestly don't know where I would be right now. Um, and at that time, I also lost another friend due to suicide, and it really did not help anything. And it was just as dark as when my mom was sick, for sure. So, but to pull yourself, you just go to the gym, and I ended up getting right and being better, and seeing the beautiful that can come out of it. Because at the end of the day, I gained some beautiful relationships from it. Like I got Monica out of it, and she's like one of my rocks at the moment. Um, her grandchild, who's also I consider my niece, and her kids, who I consider my relatives as well. Um, and yeah, I mean, it made my bond with my mother and my sisters that much stronger too. Um, yeah, that was that.
To contrast the two major events, the like battle, your mum's battle with cancer, your role in that, is this, it's like the quiet, patient, sacrificial servant sort of role.
Mhm.
And then the other, the bull incident, is that high testosterone, aggressive, loud,
Totally.
warrior kind of role.
Mhm.
How do you see those two marrying, and which was a harder cross to bear?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I think the quieter one was a lot harder, and I could see why people don't understand when people go suicidal or they go real south. Those quiet storms are deadly. That more aggressive one, that more aggressive one was more like you could stop at any time. Like I could have stopped bull riding anytime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that quiet one, there was like nothing to quiet that storm whatsoever. Like there was no handle of the situation. So I think that one was definitely the worst. The bull riding incident was just something that nearly pushed me over the edge just from everything that had already happened.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was like that was just like just adding or just an extra 5 pounds to something that already felt like I couldn't carry at all. So,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
It's that almost the final straw.
yeah, exactly.
Something we spoke about. So now to transition into your faith, you're a lot bolder about your faith than we ever were,
Yeah, now I am for sure.
but you were before us too.
Yep.
You
I
were wearing
was.
crosses.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
tattoos on your back.
Yep.
Your name is literally Christian of the Cross.
Yeah.
No hiding it there.
No hiding it.
Was your encounter with faith, was it that foxhole prayer where it's this one moment you go from like, God save me now, or was it that consistent tapping that we sometimes talk about?
Mine was definitely just more consistent. I think just like how I was as a child, I was very stubborn. Just how as I was as an adolescent, I was very stubborn. Just as I was as a younger man, I was very stubborn. I think he was always there, and God has always been there with me. Like I said, growing up, that's always been a thing. It was just been a roller coaster as far as that relationship goes. It was all good to absolutely despising him, to kind of accepting it, you know what I mean? To then talking to him and trying to work out a relationship. So he was definitely always there, and he's definitely been a great father, just like any father who has a son who may be as difficult as I was. It's just not an easy relationship, you know? I definitely did not listen when he was trying to help me, and I took every act of help as not that, you know? Um, so, but yeah, he's always been there, and towards the end, I fully embraced it. It's just completely blown up in the last year, let's just call it. It's completely blown up in the last year. And we could even go back a bit further to like when we met, right? At that point, I had gone out of a relationship and I was back into my dark ways, which my dark ways is my way of just getting myself out of it. And I chose to go back to the gym, which in turn led me to Aaron. um, but at that point, that's when I really started embracing it a lot. I would talk to him. I would pray on my way to work, and it didn't come from an aggressive, angry child. It came from just a man asking his father for help.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Just, you know what, today is rough, but if you can just help me out, we'll just get through it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it started working very well. And it's my faith's always been there, but just in the last 2 years now to a year, he showed up more for me and me with open eyes than I've ever noticed.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. So it's been going really well.
Do you think in hindsight you were trying to do things your way to the point that you died and he just wasn't going to let you he
Yeah.
wasn't even, he was
I fully believe that he's got a greater plan for me.
Mhm.
Completely. There is a road that I now see that I am trying my very best to walk.
Mm.
And yeah, I definitely got in my own way. If I would have listened before, life would have been a little bit smoother. Life would have been a little bit smoother. Yep.
and then we talked about starting the life of health and fitness and strength and through CrossFit. I want to talk about how you now use your body to honor the creator.
Oh, yeah. Like I just said, I think he's got a great plan for me. There's a bigger purpose, and I have now figured out that my fitness is very well part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be. It brings me to the conversation we had the other day on our walk when we were talking about how everyone's got purpose, everyone's got a mission, everyone's got a road that God has for them to walk. We just all serve different purposes.
Mhm.
And just like yours, I think we are meant to be warriors. We're all children of God, but some of us are meant to be warriors, and some of us are meant to be educators, and some of us are meant to be lovers. But I think that with my fitness and my faith at the moment, it's definitely way more warrior mentality, where I have to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be physically fit. I have to be capable of doing anything to my best physical capability, which in turn feeds the mind. And I have to be strong. I don't know what for, but I have to. There's a much bigger picture here. And I think this podcast is very well part of it, just like you guys. We are meant to touch others and let others know that they have a voice when it comes to their faith and it shouldn't be shut down.
Mhm.
That for any curiosity they may have, they should fully embrace God.
Mm-hmm.
You should be going to church. You should be taking care of your family. You should be leading them as well as you can. All of this. But again, I don't know what that is. I just look forward to, by the time I'm at like my last breath, I can look back and say that I have walked whatever path he fucking put in front of me.
Yeah.
How do you think the emotional and physical pain that you experienced has prepared you for spiritual warfare?
By beating me up plenty. I just think about that Rocky one where he's telling his son that he needs to get up every time. Yeah, I love that one, dude. But that's exactly what I think about. I think those trials, like, it sounds a little cliche, but that's exactly what it is. It's like, how many times can you get up? And at this point, it's like, I have to get up every time.
Yeah.
There's no other option. If I don't get up, then what's going to happen?
Well, all the inner world cut off.
So yeah, I think that's exactly how he prepared me. He just kept knocking me down and just making sure that I knew that he was there to help me up. And every time I try to get up myself, he pushed me back down and be like, no, I can help you and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't know that I have much more.
Well, we have to say the name of the bull.
Oh, Mama's Nightmare.
Yeah.
How ironic is that? Mama's Nightmare was the name of the bull that almost took me.
And we still see him at the rodeo.
Still there. Surprised. Doesn't buck as hard as he used to, but still there.
It's a wild connection.
No.
I think it points to the fact that the hand of God was there that day.
It's
That
crazy.
bull.
Like, these things aren't coincidences. Like, if you guys have any shred of doubt, or if you have any thing that you would call a coincidence, I actually dare you to go back and look at it and just look at the state that you were in.
Like, what if it was
No.
God?
Yeah,
Well, we always say no accident.
exactly. I mean, and just as easily as I cursed his name back in the day, I easily was thanking him at points too. You know what I mean? Thank you.
That's nice.
So
Yeah,
you gotta take the good with the bad.
that's true.
Well, Christian, appreciate you coming in and
Yeah.
being so honest
Yeah.
and open. This is going to touch people for sure.
I hope so.
I think it's going to impact a lot of people. I think your story is incredible. And I really think it's going to do good.
Yeah, I think if I can, my story may be surprising to most of you, but a lot of people have stories out there.
Mhm.
You know, my story is just my story. Does not make me any more special than you. There's plenty of people out there that have had way worse hardships in life than I have. You know, so if I love what you guys are doing, you guys are exposing this. This is great. It exposes faith. It allows people to actually talk. Some people don't even communicate these issues at all, and I think overall, this is a good thing. So, for all of you listening out there and you hear the story, just embrace your faith and don't be shy. Talk to your friends, talk to the people you care about, and if someone's going through something, it's okay to reach out to them and just ask them if they're fine. You know, you could be the difference in someone's life completely.
Did you ever get the paramedic's name?
I did not, but I did get to talk to her like a week or two after. I couldn't ride for like 2 weeks because of the concussion. It was so bad.
Only 2 weeks. Oh my gosh.
Well, they give you
That is not a nightmare.
they give you a minimum, and obviously we just take the minimum. But I did go see her. And it was funny. I went up to her to thank her. And yeah, she was like, "Oh man, we almost lost you for a second, didn't we?" I was like, "Yep, we almost did, but thank you." It's not here, so
Bill, if you're listening, drop into the comments.
Yeah.
What's your name? We'd love to give you a shout out.
yeah, she was really cool.
Send you a little baby Jesus figurine.
I love it.
Oh, thanks for sharing today.
Of course, I appreciate you guys having me on. I love it. And this will not be the last time you guys hear from me. So this is great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Live hard, lift heavy, pray hard.
Let's have you bring her. Love you, Dad.